morning to all the attendees that have managed to join our Innovation in Fuel Management webinar. My name is Hussein Arnold and I work in product marketing, and I'll be the host for today. With me on the panel today are our subject matter experts, Alejandro, Ben, and Platzi. And I'll ask them quickly if they can introduce themselves before we step into the webinar for today. I'll ask Alejandro to go first.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Alejandro Cantillo here from the Global Product team in Veeder-Root. I'm the Red Jacket Global Product Manager, and I'm very glad to be here with you. Thank you for your time and allow us explain us our product portfolio.
Thank you, Alejandro. Ben, if you could go next, please.
Hey, my name's Ben Chase. I work in product management, supporting the Veeder-Root ATG, supporting our ATG tank gauges and developing our strategic initiatives. Pleasure to be here with you today.
Thank you, Ben. And last but certainly not least, Mutlatsi.
Hello, everyone. My name is Moloi Mutlatsi. I'm the specialist for Insight 360 services, and I'm based in Johannesburg, South Africa.
Thank you very much, Mutlatsi. So, Veeder-Root environmental system extends to all aspects of our, sorry, before I continue, I skip the slide here. In your control panel for the attendees, there is an option to insert a question. Right? What we'll do at the end of the webinar is we'll field the questions that have been put up during the course of the webinar. So if you just take a moment to find that questions option in your control panel, and that's where you can post the question at the end. So our Veeder-Root environmental systems extends really to all aspects of the forecourt, right? If you look at the slide there, in the underground storage tanks, our equipment manages the inventory levels, we monitor fuel quality, and the dispensing of that product out of the underground storage tank. Then at the dispense level, we also provide vapor recovery monitoring systems. This includes the recovery of the fuel vapors during dispensing, and then we return that fuel vapors back to the underground storage tank. We manage all this data on site through compliance software, and then also through online services. For the first part of the webinar, I'd like to ask Alejandro to walk us through our submersible pump series.
Sure, Hussein, thank you. Well, as Hussein was mentioned, we have here our Red Jacket submersible turbine pumps product portfolio, starting from the very top with our IPC, which is the acronym of Intelligent Pump Control. It's a software that we have within the TLS 450 Plus, our ATG flagship platform that Ben is going to explain us a little bit more on the following slides. So it's a software where we can monitor and report real-time submersible turbine pump status. We can also monitor electrical parameters and thus make troubleshoots and streamline service calls. It's a very important software tool to understand what's going on in the heart of the station, as we would like to call it, which is the STPs, or submersible turbine pumps. Then we have another pumps for or other critical fluids, such as DEF or AdBlue. Perhaps AdBlue is the correct name to use it in the region. Also, we have an LPG product portfolio for special applications. Also, you may see our 6-inch Maximum STPs. Those STPs, as you can notice, they have 6 inches in their riser piping, so it will allow more flow and more pressure in your fuel retail sites, and those STPs are specifically designed for ultra high flow sites such as the travel centers, or when we have to provide fuel to big fleets, and also in commercial industrial applications. Then we have our mechanical line leak detectors. Those are these devices that you can see in the center of your slide, of your screen, that we install within the top red head of the STPs to prevent leaks in the piping, in the sites. Very important device to prevent any environmental issue. And now we have two different kind of leak detectors. A regular one are our biofuel leak detector, with the increasing of biofuels in all worlds, with increasing with in ethanol content, and also biodiesels. It's very important to have the appropriate device that handle this kind of fuels. Then we have risers to hassle-free installations, the STPs, and also our trappers intakes, which is the small thing, the small cylinder that you can see down there that is installed in the bottom of the pump and motor, and what it allows you to prevent any debris get into the STP and be pumped out of the dispenser. So it's like a special design that, and it acts as a filter, additional filter, to prevent any fuel condition, and also to expand the lifespan of the STP. Then we have our control boxes product portfolio, which is not just a isolation device with isolation purposes, but also to control and to prevent issues within your STPs, again, to prevent any problem with the heart of the station again. So with that, you can monitor the STP, and if the control box detects any failure, it can take control over the STP and prevent that this failure will end up in big damage or issues. So for instance, if you have dry run conditions on any issue with the STP, this control box will detect that the motor is drawing more current than it should. So it will just turn off the STP and prevent bigger damages. Lastly, we have our SumDry, our desiccant flagship product portfolio, which is installed within the sump, and it absorbs all the excess of moisture that you have in the sump, and thus prevent any corrosion. Then we have, as you can see, the 4-inch red jacket STP, which is our most common submersible turbine pump. And within that, we have 3 different categories of our STPs. Hussein, please, could you please go to the next slide?
Yeah, Alejandro, thank you so much for that in-depth analysis on that slide. Could you provide us just a brief summary on the portfolio, please? I'm sure our attendees would like to also hear about the new products that we have to offer on the following slides.
Sure, thank you. Well, as we were mentioned, we have 3 different categories of our red jacket STPs. The first one is to handle regular fuels. The next one, we call it AG, that stands for alcohol gas STPs, which is mainly designed for special handling of high concentration of ethanol, more than 15% and up to 100%. And lastly, we have our red armor category of red jacket, which is our most resistant STP. That it was designed specifically to work in heavy corrosion environmental, with more stainless steel components within the manifold, and also a special coating to prevent any big issues with the corrosion in high, for instance, handling ultra low sulfur diesel.
Thank you, Alejandro. I think this is probably the exciting bit on the RJ side. the new Hydrex system?
Sure, sure. Well, when we talk about corrosion protection, I think that is very important to highlight that we don't have also we don't just have our STPs, but we also have a broader product line portfolio, such as the stainless steel riser pipes, sorry, our trapper intakes, with our dissecant, as we mentioned that, but it's very important to notice that we have our Hydrix, which is our conditioning system, sorry. And it mainly is a system that continue collects and draw water from the bottom of the tank and remove all of the excess of water from there, and with that remove all of the main source of microbial growth in these tanks, which is the water. So it continues to remove all of the water, and with that improve the quality of the diesel.
Thank you.
Exactly, as we were.
So I think. Sorry, I was just about to say. I think this is the component that you covered, right? Continuous water removal out of the underground storage tank, and then ultimately polishing the fuel to improve the fuel quality. Correct?
Correct. We would like to call it use the word polish, because it's exactly what it does. Because when it removes all of the water from the bottom of the tank, what it does is polishing the fuel and increasing the quality of the fuel that the site is pumping to their final clients.
Super.
So here, as you can see, we have very happy clients, and I think that this is self-explanatory slide when you can see that at the moment when we install Hydrix, we have debris and residuals in the bottom of the tank. So that sample there was taken before the Hydrix installation. After Hydrix installation, that's with the first month, we noticed that we have the moisture content was really low compared to the initial installation conditions. And then 1 year after, we have a clean diesel, and after 3 years later, that sample was taken recently, we continue to have a very clean fuel in that station. So clients are very happy, and also they can provide and increase their reputation within their clients in big fleets because of they having the best-in-class diesel.
That sounds fantastic, and this is the new addition to our environmental range, correct?
Correct. That's our new addition, and also it expands our portfolio in the corrosion prevention, and again it improves the quality of the fuel.
Thank you very much, Alejandro. So, Veeder-Root, we continuously strive to integrate our solutions and our systems together, between automatic tank gauges, between fuel conditioning systems, and then ultimately monitoring and controlling of submersible turbine pumps. The next product we'd like to talk about is our Veeder-Root tank gauges. It's not a new range. The range has been around for quite a while. It's quite extensive, and the new platform is called the TLS4 range. To take us through this TLS4 range, I'd like to ask Ben to please kick in.
Sure. So we just learned about how Hydrix works with the Red Jacket STP and the TLS 450 Plus to really give you a cutting edge solution for tank health. And that's a system that lives right inside the TLS4 platform. So for any size site, for any requirement, Veeder-Root has a TLS solution that works. So from those advanced high technology sites using our Hydrix systems down to really simple independent sites, we've got you covered with the TLS 4B, the TLS 4, and the TLS 450 Plus. So I'm going to do a bit of a deep dive on each of these so you can really understand how they separate from one another. So the TLS 4B, think of it as our starter ATG. This is a good fit for customers looking for a simple solution for a small or ungauged site. It's for customers who don't require future expandability and are only going to use 6 inputs or less. But if you've experienced dry run conditions, overfill problems, or delivery density issues in the past, and you're thinking about converting to a gauge site, the TLS-4B can get you modernized. The TLS-4 is really for those medium-sized sites up to 12 input space. It's got all the features of the TLS-4B plus expandability and flexibility. So with an expansion box, it can handle up to 76 inputs. It also features CSLD, which is continuous loss monitoring. So think about the TLS-4 as that flexible mid-level solution for your customers that's able to grow with their site requirements. Finally, I want to talk about the TLS-450 Plus. It's really our pinnacle top-level ATG for customers with the most advanced or complex sites. Standard, the TLS-450 Plus can handle up to 64 inputs, but for really maximum expandability, you can deploy this with multiple expansion box, up to 256 inputs total, which really will handle any size site. This is our Halo product. It's compatible with the most advanced features we have, like digital line leak detection, AdBlue recirculation, intelligent pump control, and Hydrix, like we just discussed. So for customers who are really looking for the most forward-thinking technology and are trying to future-proof their sites, the TLS 450 Plus is going to be the right answer.
Thank you, Ben. And moving on, before we get into the benefits of tank gauging, right? What would we deem to be a comparative look to show why we would go tank gauging versus manual dipping?
Sure. So I know in regions where forecourt technology hasn't been fully deployed, we've seen pretty slow adoption of ATGs as an automation technology in some places. But there's really a lot of ways that manual readings can put a site at risk that I want to talk about. So manual readings can be inaccurate and inconsistent, really due to human error or changes in reading techniques between personnel, temperature changes at reading times. And those reading inaccuracies and inconsistencies can lead to some serious problems like fuel runouts, overfills, downtime, and lost product. And those all hit a site's bottom line, right? So manual dipping can also enable easier fuel theft because you've got reduced control and visibility to those fuel levels. So there's also a human cost. You know, you've got the monetary cost of paying for labor, record keeping for store personnel, and then exposure, right? There's an HSSE risk for exposing to petrol fumes that we also need to take into consideration for site employees. So when you think about all the waste and risk associated with manual dipping, automating site operations with an ATG is really the best option.
Fantastic. Yeah, the benefits seem to be a no-brainer. So moving on to our platform, can we talk a bit about the benefits and the improvements we've implemented on the new TLS-4 platform?
Of course. So everybody knows the TLS 350, right? That's the legacy Veeder-Root platform. Has had a really long lifespan, synonymous with reliability over its time in the field, but it's getting up there in years. To put it in perspective, the TLS 350 started development before I was born. So it's been around a little while, right? And as a reminder of why upgrading is important from a legacy platform like that, really think about it in terms of 4 categories: connectivity, security, cost of ownership, and capabilities. One of the places the TLS 350 really fell behind as it aged was in network configuration, encryption, and online security. Whereas with our new connectivity options like the PlusView app and the web-enabled system, serial commands over SSH, and all through secure network interfaces, the TLS 450 Plus is really going to give you a dramatically more secure online presence with your tank gauge. You also get better on-the-ground presence control with role control, front panel security, so you can manage access right at the site. Another place we're going to see benefits from the TLS 450 Plus is in total cost of ownership. You know, TLS 350 components have limited availability now, and as a result, we're seeing prices increase on those TLS 350 spares. So when you think about the advanced new features of the TLS 450 Plus, cost of ownership over time being improved, upgrading to the TLS 450 Plus is really going to give customers a sure return on investment with peace of mind relative to internet security at the same time.
And then I think a big focus for any customer, right, is fuel loss, whether that loss is in the tank, the fuel line, or due to just reconciliation. What are the key takeaways we can take from the TLS 450 when we talk about loss detection?
Sure. So there's lots of different ways Veeder-Root approaches the problem of loss detection, right? So if we think about our probes and software, we've got those multiple ways to detect loss. Sudden loss monitoring is going to give you that immediate notice that there was theft or high volume release. It's happening when it's not expected. We're going to get leak detection options to make sure your tanks are tight and you're not losing product. We've got line leak detection, which is the most advanced way to make sure pressure sites are operating safely and not losing product. And then you've got business inventory reconciliation, right, which is going to give you that real world view to variance trends. We know how razor sharp margins can be in the fueling industry. When you put all of these services and technologies together, we're really working to protect operators' bottom line at sites and protect that margin.
Thank you, Ben. I think, and then we certainly won't call it the last component, but ultimately that fuel goes out the nozzle, right? And another environmental concern is what happens to those vapors when they come to the nozzle. What other facilities can we help with when it comes to vapor monitoring or vapor recovery?
Sure. So we're seeing vapor rise in importance geographically, right, in all different regions across the globe. Vapor is another piece of tech that is available with Veeder-Root, with both vapor collection and vapor monitoring options. We've got Vapor Tech, which is going to allow you to recapture petrol vapor at specific air over liquid thresholds. Regulations on those thresholds change from country to country. So Vapor Tech is going to be configurable. You can match that A over L threshold to the requirement for your country. These are going to be compatible with both new and retrofit dispenser applications. Our vapor portfolio is really flexible, probably the most flexible vapor solution that's on the market today. And as we see that environmental compliance become more important in different countries enacting regulations, or for particularly environmentally conscious customers, we're going to be there to help guide you through your options when it comes to vapor recovery.
Thank you, Ben. I think, and lastly, we just want to really reach out to our channel partners, distributors, or any partners that are out there. We have an email address on the screen there. If there's any comments, if there's any suggestions, if there's any concerns, or customers want to reach out to us, we have a gbr-mia-marketing@gilbarco.com. We invite you to please drop us an email if there's any questions you'd like to ask or anything you'd like to voice to GBR.
So one of the things we're really working on right now is developing our next generation platforms for communication and connectivity. And we're always really looking to understand how a new product fits in with our key customers, especially in the Middle East and Africa, right, with a rapidly developing region. So your expertise and industry insight on how you use your ATGs and what features are really going to drive value for you is valuable for us, right? So if you're interested in giving that opinion and that feedback, please reach out to the email on the screen. We can set up a conversation and really think through what's next for ATG as a landscape, and we can do that together.
Fantastic. And I think then wrapping it up is just a natural progression of how Veeder-Root evolves. Give us a bit of insight on the PlusView application.
Sure. So the app has been recently refactored and redesigned to make it more stable, faster to connect to ATGs, and give you really instant visibility to your assets. It's going to be that instant view monitoring solution. And when you pair that with the web-enabled system, where you have full control over your configuration at the site, this is really the best mobile platform for ATG that gives you complete connectivity and control from anywhere on the planet with an internet connection. We're continuing to invest and develop this platform, so look for more features and technology being deployed here with the PlusView app in the future.
Great stuff. And Ben, thank you for those insights. I'm sure most of our attendees have grasped quite a bit from what you shared there. So getting data and notifications from site level are fantastic, right? But how about an option where you can manage one or more or multiple sites from a remote view or an online view? To take us through our online platform called Insight 360, we'll hand over to Mutlatsi.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Hussein. Again, as you have said, if you are looking for scalability and a little bit of personalization when it comes to collection of data, we have a platform called Insight 360, which is a wet stock management tool that we use to collect the different points of data that the team has discussed in this presentation, right? And Insight 360 itself, it's a system and a service, right, that works with data analytics and data science to give you insight into your forecourt operations. The system is rich in multiple reports in multiple formats, and we also have a host of APIs that are always available for our customers to plug in and support their operations, whether it can be at the depot, for maintenance, for health and safety. Multiple factors of users are using this information on a daily basis to enrich their on-site operations. So we also, as a system, we use it also to provide the service that is called leak detection. And it's a wonderful tool that can separate real losses, what is a real loss versus a virtual loss or an apparent loss, right? And we'll be able to give you a report that will explain exactly why your reconciliation is outside of tolerance. So inside 360, we have also tank calibration. If you are having an issue where you have high variances on a daily basis, we can then deploy tank calibration that will minimize those variances and therefore giving you more value on the data that you are viewing on a daily basis.
Thanks, Ms. Lassie. Next slide, I think, could you summarize this one for us, please?
Yes, so we have a multiple number of users that are using the Insight 360 platform. Generally in management, it is a needed tool because you need to know whether your sites are pumping or not. But we also have an interest out of HSSE. As an example, they also want to see if the sites are compliant, whether they're having overfills. The guys at the depots running the logistics, they will want to have a view of whether the delivery really did happen on site and was it recognized and was it within the necessary thresholds, right? Operations and finance also tracking your daily losses, write-offs if you do have any, which you shouldn't if you are using the Insight 360 system. So it's a system that is actually helping a multiple number of departments work together because they will all have a centralized view of the data, of course, showing in different reports that are more relevant to their KPIs.
Thank you.
So again, just to emphasize on the point of KPIs, or let's call them objectives or goals, right? I think each and every oil company has got that objective. They want to protect the environment, protect the brand, improve the customer experience, lower operational costs, and prevent severe fines, which in some regions can be quite a serious offense, right? So using this Insight 360 tool, we have now the tool, since it's a system that sits on top of your ATG, we have now means of collecting data from the ground and showing you all those goals and KPIs that you have set. We can actually give you a view of how you measure up against those, right? So through variance analysis, alarm management, remote diagnostics, SIR, meter drift detection, and a number of other services that we offer, we can make sure that we align our system to your KPIs as the oil company or as the operating company for that service station.
Thanks, Mr. Lassie. I think this last slide will probably round up the Insight 360.
Most definitely. And so as a last point, we're saying that your Insight 360 services will help you extend the lifespan of your forecourt service station. This is because you don't have to assume that the equipment that is lying underground has been damaged after a certain time period. You can now change it only when it's necessary to change because you'll be having visibility on whether it is still compliant or not. It is a digital tool that is available everywhere, whether it's on your cell phone, on your laptop. As long as you have a web browser, you can access the Insight 360 platform. It supports your existing automation, all those wonderful things that you saw my colleagues presenting, alarms that are coming from your dispensers, your ATGs, your DOMS system as an FCC. You can have access to view all that data. And we always make sure that through our reporting, which is reports that you can share with the compliance regulator, all those reports are designed for you and they are available on demand, or they can be scheduled via email to reach your mailbox or the mailbox of the regulator. So we manage all this and lower your operational cost using the tools that are designed specifically for you, taking into account the TLS 350 and the 450 consoles, which is where we're collecting the data.
Thank you very much, Mutlansi. So firstly, to my colleagues that have done the webinar with me today, thank you very much. I think that's been very informative. I think most of the attendees on have probably learned quite a bit. Just in terms of questions, I picked up one question that's popped in the question chat. And the question is, what is the difference between the TLS Plus View, and I'm assuming this is the application, and Insight 360? I think maybe let's just ask Ben to just expand a little bit more about the application so that the attendees would understand. I think that might help them separate the two.
Sure. So think of the Plus View app as a really fast and light tool for getting quick visibility to your inventory and alarms at one site or a handful of sites. Whereas I think of Insight 360 as a full-featured monitoring suite for all of your compliance needs that is a much more robust set of features. So think of the app as fast and light, and Insight 360 as the full-featured suite of remote connectivity.
Yeah. And if I could just add there, right, on Insight 360, we have the ability to monitor a little bit more than the app. Where the app is focused on the tank gauge and the tank levels, we can get performances of submersible pumps, of vapor recovery, of dispenser flow rates through Insight 360. So it's a little bit more enhanced on the Insight 360 platform, whereas the TLS Plus View is really the assistance in the customer's pocket, if I can put it that way. Super. Do we have any other questions? I'm not picking up anything else. Anybody see any other questions? No. Okay, super. So if we don't have any other further questions from us as the GVR team, we'd like to thank all the attendees for joining our webinar today. We'd love to hear from you in the future. As we said, we've posted up an email. We'd love to hear from you comments, suggestions, or any way that you can help us to understand how you work in your region to manage your fuel. Thank you very much from everybody on our side. Hope you enjoy your day.